loved viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this video, we shall be discussing how to score questions on offset meaning. When it comes to WAEC examination, you're going to answer questions on offset meaning in the English language, that is from question 1 to question 10. So it is important for you to know how to effectively answer them. Even if you don't know the meaning of the word, there are certain tricks that you need to know that will help you to guess the meaning of the underlying word. So in this video, we're going to be discussing the meaning of antonyms, types of antonyms, and how to use context clues to know the meaning of underlying words, which will help you to choose a word that is opposite to the meaning to the underlying word. This video promises to be exciting and interesting. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us show you a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson.
Let us begin today's lesson with the question, what are antonyms? Or when we say antonyms, what do we mean? Antonyms are two or more words that are opposite in meaning. Two or more words that are opposite in meaning are called antonyms. This type of questions are found in the section 1 of the Wassce English Paper 1, which are numbered from 1 to 10. Your job here is to select a word that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word, and that will at the same time correctly fill the gap in the sentence. Notice the use of the words correctly fill the gap in the sentence, so the word that you're going to select should be a word opposite in meaning to the underlined word, and that will at the same time correctly fill the gap in the sentence. There are times where you will find two or more words that are opposite in meaning to the underlined word. What it simply means is that you have to select a word that will correctly fill the gap in the sentence or that fits into the context of the question. Always remember that any grammatically wrong sentence is automatically the wrong answer or not the correct answer. The word you choose should fit into the context and situation of the sentence in the question. This type of questions are simple and easy to score. However, predicting an antonym is challenging because in multiple choice questions, different types of words are possible as antonyms for a word. This is because a word can have semantic contrastiveness to other words as long as the word contains at least one feature contrasting to the other. For example, let's consider these words: dual, double, and multiple. These three words can be antonyms to the word single because they all have the contrasting feature of amount or number, but you can't use them interchangeably, especially when it is in a sentence, and this is what you will find in WAEC examination. The words are going to be in sentences, so you have to pay attention to the context in which the word is being used. Additionally, the appropriateness of an antonym varies depending on the context. For example, double, dual, and multiple are used for a bird, nationality, and the number of meanings of a word, respectively. Thus, we can have a double bird, a dual nationality, and multiples of a number, but we can't interchange them. Hence, antonym prediction must be considered within the context. Let's now discuss the type of antonyms we have. There are three types of antonyms. 1. Gradable or graded antonyms. When we say gradable or graded antonyms, what do we mean? These are antonyms that operate on a continuum, or they are antonyms that operate in a range or a scale. That is, we can tell how big something is or how small something is. We can tell how narrow one thing is or how wide it is. We can equally tell how beautiful a person is or how ugly a person is. We can tell how short a person is or how tall the person is. We can tell how rich or poor a person is. We can equally tell how fast or slow a person is. So the kind of antonyms that operate in a continuum are called graded or gradable antonyms. The second group of antonyms are complementary antonyms, also called binary antonyms. These are words or antonyms that express an either-or relationship. They express an either-or relationship. It is either one of them or the other. It can't be both. This type of antonyms do not operate in a continuum. Thus, we can tell if a person is dead or alive. A person cannot be somehow dead or somehow alive. It is either you are dead or you are alive. It is either you are male or female. You can be somehow male or somehow female. It is either you pass an examination or you fail an examination. You can't somehow pass or somehow fail, or you haven't passed completely and you haven't equally failed. No, this kind of antonyms express an either-or relationship, just as day and night. It is either day or night. We can have both day and night, or it is somehow day or it is somehow night. Let's now move to the third antonym, which is relational antonym, also called converse antonyms. These are antonyms that express contrasting role relationship between two people. Thus, we have a husband and a wife. If you are not a host, you are the guest. If you're not the buyer, then you are the seller. So, we have discussed the three types of antonyms: graded or gradable antonyms, complementary antonyms, and relational antonyms. What you have to bear in mind is that when the underlined word is a gradable antonym, the answer you select must equally be a gradable antonym. If the underlined word is a complementary antonym, the answer you select should also be a complementary antonym. If the underlined word is a relational antonym, the answer should equally be a relational antonym. Take note of this and know how to select your answers. Now, let's move to how to answer questions on opposite in meaning. The first thing you have to do here is to pay attention to the command words of the question. This is very important. You can't answer an examination without reading instructions. Always read the instructions of the paper. Most of the times, candidates will end up selecting synonyms instead of antonyms, so it is very important for you to read the instructions and know exactly what you're supposed to do. The next thing you're supposed to do is to pay attention to the use of words in context. In answering this type of questions, you have to rely on context clues. Context clues are hints found within a sentence, a paragraph, or a passage that a reader can use to understand the meaning of a new or unfamiliar word. The problem here is that most candidates do not even know the meaning of the underlined words, so it becomes difficult for them to choose a word that is opposite in meaning to the underlined word. Predicting or guessing the meaning of a word through the use of a sentence or the paragraph is the most practical way to choose the correct answer, since dictionaries are not allowed in the examination hall. A candidate must be aware that many words have several possible meanings. Only by being sensitive to the circumstances in which the word is used can a candidate decide upon the appropriate definition to fit the context. Thus, the dictionary meaning of certain words do not apply in a sentence. A candidate should rely on the context clues when an obvious clue is provided, or when a general sense of the meaning is needed for the reader's purposes. So, in using the context clues, we can use the following. 1. Definition or description clue. What do we mean by definition or description clue? There are times that the underlined word may be formally defined, or sufficient explanation may be given within the sentence. Let's consider this example. His emaciation gave him a skeleton-like appearance. His emaciation gave him a skeleton-like appearance. Look at the words carefully. Emaciation, a skeleton-like appearance. So anyone who doesn't know the meaning of emaciation can look at the words skeleton-like appearance to guess the meaning of emaciation. So, skeleton-like appearance is the definition of emaciation. So when you're reading your questions, you have to look out for definition or description clues. Thus, the question sometimes explains the underlined word. So, once you know the definition of emaciation, you can tell what the opposite will be. The next thing you can use here is synonym restatement clue. What do we mean by synonym restatement clue? The candidate may discover the meaning of an unknown underlined word because it repeats an idea expressed in familiar words nearby. For instance, you might not understand the underlined word, but the nearby words will tell you the meaning of the word. Let's consider this example. The mountain pass was a tortuous road, winding and twisting, like a snake, around the trees of the mountainside. The mountain pass was a tortuous road, winding and twisting, like a snake, around the trees of the mountainside. So, the underlined word here is tortuous. What is the meaning of the word tortuous? A candidate who does not know the meaning of this word may discover the meaning since the question repeats an idea expressed in familiar words nearby. Winding, twisting. So tortuous means winding and twisting. So once you know the meaning of tortuous, it becomes easier for you to select a word that is opposite the meaning to the underlined word. Next is the mood or tone clue. Sometimes, the question sets a mood, and the meaning of the unknown underlined word must harmonize with the mood. Let's consider this example. The lugubrious wails of the mourners match the dreary whistling of the wind in the all but deserted cemetery. The lugubrious wails of the mourners match the dreary whistling of the wind in the all but deserted cemetery. What is the meaning of the word lugubrious? A candidate who does not know the meaning of the word lugubrious can use the tone or mood clue to find out the meaning. We find words like wail, mourners, dreary, whistling, all but deserted cemetery. This should tell you what the word is. Lugubrious, which means sorrowful, fits into the mood and tone set by the words wails, dreary, and deserted cemetery. The last context clue you can use is experience clue. Sometimes, a candidate must know from experience how people or things act in a given situation in order to discover the meaning of the underlined word so as to select the word that is opposite the meaning to that word. This knowledge provides the clue for a word's meaning. Let's consider this example. A feeling of nostalgia swept over him as he left home for school. A feeling of nostalgia swept over him as he left home for school. Here, a candidate can put himself in that particular situation. Whenever you're leaving home to a school, how do you feel? So, when you know this particular feeling, it becomes easier for you to select a word that is opposite in meaning to the underlined word. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to remove or eliminate all odd responses. This is very necessary. For instance, when you have a question like this, the senior prefect read a prepared speech, but the headmistress gave an -1. The senior prefect read a prepared speech, but the headmistress gave an -1. A. An impromptu one. B. An emotional one. C. An important one. D. An overwhelming one. So, a candidate who knows the meaning of prepared should be able to eliminate or remove certain odd answers. The word emotional has nothing to do with prepared, so let's delete it out. The word important has nothing to do with the word prepared. Let's take it out. The word overwhelming has nothing to do with the word prepared. Let's equally take that one out. So we're left with impromptu. Have you seen? It becomes easier for you to select the right answer if you rule out the wrong ones or the odd answers. So we can correctly say that the senior prefect read a prepared speech, but the headmistress gave an impromptu one. So the simple questions to answer in Wassce regarding antonyms are questions that have paragrammatical structure with coordinating conjunctions such as for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Usually, such questions juxtaposes two contrasting or opposing ideas, usually within paragrammatical structures. Let's consider the following examples. The editor's intention was to expand the manuscript and not to dash it. A. And not to lessen it. B. And not to decrease it. C. And not to shorten it. D. And not to reduce it. Here, All the answers to a large extent are antonyms to the word expand, but shorten fits into the context of the question. So, the correct answer to this question is shorten. The editor's intention was to expand the manuscript and not to shorten it. My father is an authoritarian, while my mother is dash. So, anyone who knows the meaning of the word authoritarian will tell you that option letter D, secretive, is out of place. Innocent is equally out of place. Soft is equally a wrong answer. So the correct answer here is accommodating. Books in a good library should be well dashed, not jumbled. A. Arranged. B. Registered. C. Numbered. D. Compiled. The word opposite in meaning to the word jumbled is arranged, so the correct answer to this question is A. Books in a good library should be well arranged, not jumbled. Kojo is close-fisted, while his brother is dash. A. Generous. B. Cunning. C. Extraordinary. D. Complacent. The correct answer to this question is A. Generous. Another thing that you have to do here is to cancel any synonym in the answers. This is very important. If not, you might end up selecting synonyms instead of antonyms, so it is important to cancel out any synonym in the answer. Let's consider this example. At all times, learn to avoid fibs. Please deal with a dash instead. A. Truth. B. Lies. C. Promises. D. Fabrications. Here, the words that have similar meaning to the word fibs are lies and fabrication. So, you have to rule out the words that are nearest in meaning to the underlined word. Here, we are looking for antonyms and not synonyms. So, the options that we'll be left with are truth and promises. And since fib means lies or fabrication, the word that is appropriate is truth. So the correct answer to this question is A. At all times, learn to avoid fibs. Please deal with the truth instead.
Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. So we'll meet again in our next lesson. Bye-bye.